Hello again, welcome to Everything Star Wars. I'm your host, Rob. Is this the first time that you're here? Well, if it is, why don't you join the Everything Star Wars family? By hitting that subscribe button and that notification bell down below, you can do just that. You know why? So I can continue to give you everything that is Star Wars. What's up, everyone? How you doing? I'm back to my old stomping ground, and I got lots of videos to go over, lots to talk about. Today we're going to talk about Bob Iger, who wants to take his time with the Star Wars, slow it down a little, slow down the roll, slow it down. We're going to discuss what he says in an interview with the Hollywood Reporter in just a second. For all of my subscribers, my family members, I want to say thanks for your patience. And thanks for sticking with me, and all you new subscribers, thanks a lot. I'm going to provide a lot of Star Wars content to you next few weeks because I've been slacking. I was on vacation, so I apologize. Anyway, why does Bob Iger want this slowdown? Let's go over his statement, his reasons, and my feelings about that. And this comes again from the Hollywood Reporter. The reporter was Frank Bartola. And this is what Frank writes. Disney's CEO Bob Iger has admitted that the theatrical rollout of Star Wars franchise may have been a little too much, too fast. In a wide-ranging interview, the Hollywood Reporter, for its annual THR 100 list, a ranking of Hollywood's most powerful people, Iger said that he takes the blame for the timing of the movie releases. You can expect some slowdown, but that doesn't mean we're not going to make films, said Iger, who landed at number 1 on the list. That's pretty interesting. Critics and analysts have argued that the rush of movies of the last few years have led to a Star Wars fatigue. May's Solo, a Star Wars story, a spin-off about young Han Solo played by Alden Ehrenreich, opened at $103 million, which is dismal for a Star Wars film. The film eventually made nearly $400 million globally. For comparison, Star Wars The Force Awakens made $2 billion worldwide in 2015, and the Star Wars spin-off Rogue One, one of my favorites, a Star Wars story, made $1 billion in 2016. So $1 billion from Rogue One, $2 billion from The Force Awakens, $400 million from Solo, and this is globally. We are just at the point where we are going to start making discussions about what comes next after JJ's movies, Iger added. But I think we're going to be a little more careful about the volume and the timing, and the buck stops here on that. Star Wars has box office bonanza for Disney since it acquired the franchise in 2012, making more than $4.5 billion at the worldwide box office. Yet, there's a lot of Star Wars in that short amount of time. From 1977 to 2005, there was only 6 Star Wars films released in theaters. Since 2015, Disney has released 4 films from the franchise. Iger didn't say if the slowdown would impact any upcoming projects. Lucasfilm announced last year that it plans for a new trilogy from Rian Johnson, the director of Star Wars The Last Jedi. It also announced earlier this year that the Game of Thrones creators are going to write and produce a new series of Star Wars films. What do you make of all this? Here's what I make of all this. First, he says that, they were rolling out too many Star Wars movies too fast. And I don't think that's the problem. So what I think, right, is that he's blaming it on making too many movies. And that, first of all, let's analyze what he's saying here. Because they put out Solo 6 months after The Last Jedi. So with that being said, in my opinion, it wasn't Solo and it wasn't any Star Wars fatigue going on here. It wasn't the movie was bad, because let me tell you, I saw the movie 3 times. And all 3 times I loved it. I saw it once in the movie theater with my friends. I saw it once on this cruise I just took, and then once on the plane back. I loved it. I truly love it. I have purchased it. It should be coming next week. So I look forward to getting it. And I don't think the movie was bad at all. I really don't think that. It gave me a Star Wars feeling, and I've gone over this. And if you didn't check out my why you're boycotting the Solo movie, you could check that down below. And the reason that people boycott it was because of a main reason was The Last Jedi. It was the main reason. People went against the main Jedi. They didn't like the politics. They didn't like Kathleen Kennedy. They want her fired. That was the message that Star Wars fans were trying to get out. We want you out. We want a good story. This should have never been put in the theater. What are you doing? So since you did that, the only way to get our message across is by not going to see Solo. That's what happened here. Now he's saying, okay, so he's thinking, well, maybe you guys just don't want, a lot of Star Wars, so, I'll slow it down a bit. We'll make movies, but I'm just going to slow it down, Right now JJ's producing, and then we'll see what we're going to do after that. And I don't want to talk about anything else. So, okay, so what does that mean exactly? Does that mean that you're going to put on a movie maybe every 2 years, every 3 years? Are you scared to put on movies? Because that's what it seems to me right now. It seems like that they're very scared. It's real simple. It's real simple. I've said this before and I'll say it again. It was The Last Jedi. It was the fans didn't like The Last Jedi. You split the fandom in half. You had a director take it who makes fun of fans, who makes fun of YouTubers, who, just said, I want to make a movie that half the people love and half the people hate. How do you run a $4 billion company on hiring this guy? How do you do a trilogy with 3 different directors who are going to have 3 different visions? How are you going to have a trilogy with one guy who says, well, I don't like what he did, so let's kill it. Let's kill the past. Let's let it die. JJ should have wrote all 3. He had a vision. He wrote the movie. He set it up for a middle movie. And Rian Johnson made the middle movie look like it was the ending movie. Bobby, don't you get it? Don't you get the fact that the fans are revolting because they're angry, they're upset, they're mad at what was put out there? Listen, Rogue One was fantastic. And I'm glad that Disney did it because it was the story I was looking for. It was perfect. It was one of my favorite. I would have to say it's right behind Revenge of the Sith. There's been Revenge of the Sith and Rogue One is there. Solo was there. I loved Solo. I thought it was a great film by Ron Howard. It was fantastic. And you know what? I was so mad about this last night, by the way, that I tweeted Bob Iger and I tweeted Ron Howard. I gave props to Ron Howard, and I told Iger, you're missing it here, man. Listen, I'm sure that I speak for a lot of Star Wars fans when I say if they put out a movie every year, as long as it had a good story behind it, as long as, good writing, and it drew our interest, like how many people want to see Kenobi right now? I'm sure a lot of you do. How many people would see Vader, the Jedi Purge? When Vader was at his prime. You really enjoyed him kicking butt in Rogue One. Why wouldn't you enjoy seeing how badass he would be? How he would take out Jedis with no mercy. Just would not care. I was like, I don't care what you tell me. Oh, please don't kill me. Oh, no, I'm going to kill you. Like a horror movie. He'd be like Jason Voorhees and Freddy. This would be the Star Wars version of that. He'd be no nonsense, don't care, I'm wiping you out. That's the end of the story. So I can be the leader. I can be the only one who has control of the Force. I'll wipe every one of them out. Iger, you just don't get it. You just don't get it, man. It's not about that we're tired of Star Wars movie. We're not tired. That's why we do these YouTube videos. We do these videos for the love of it. People watch these videos for the love of it. People comment in the comment section, not just in mine, but in all of them. Read them. Hire somebody to go on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, and watch them implode. Watch everything that everybody's talking about. Join every Star Wars channel. join every Star Wars group, join everything and read carefully. Pay as many people as you want to do that, and they're going to tell you the same thing. The people aren't mad at Solo. The people don't think Solo was a horrible movie. Some people do, and that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but the majority of the people liked Solo. The majority of the people, there was a poll on Twitter I saw the other day, had 75% of the people wanted the sequel. They wanted to see all three Solo movies that were supposed to be created from this. We want more. We love Star Wars. Well, I don't want to wait 5 years to see another movie. I would like to see one, all right, year and a half, 2, if you want to push that, okay, fine, but you have the funds, you have the money, you have the people, you have the directors, you have the actors. Listen, Ewan McGregor said, call me. I'm willing to do it. It's not me. I want to do it. I'm ready to do it. I want to be Obi-Wan again. I just haven't heard anything from Disney. He's telling the truth. So people are like, maybe he's not telling the truth. Maybe he's lying. No, he's telling the truth. So here's what it is, Bobby boy. Here's what you don't get. The Last Jedi split the fandom in half. That's what it did. And that was your problem. That's why the people didn't see Solo. They boycotted Solo. And some people didn't even want to see it because they didn't care. I personally wanted to see it. I like Solo. I think it's great. I love Donald Glover in it. I love Eidenreich in it. I love everybody in it. Woody Harrelson is awesome. I love the movie. I really do. I think it was fantastic, and I think it should have made a lot more money, and I think Ron Howard is a genius. He definitely, in my mind, gets Star Wars. Filoni gets Star Wars, and so does Edwards, who made Rogue One. They get Star Wars. Give them all a trilogy. Give Filoni a trilogy, give Howard a trilogy, and give Edwards a trilogy and see where it goes. And if they're successful and you bring people back because you write a good story and you make a good movie, guess what? You won't regret it. I think that's the best thing. And there's a lot of movies they can make. People want the Old Republic. People want Kenobi. People want Fett. How about Vader the Jedi Purge? How about the Battle of Jakku? How about what Luke does between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens? What happens? What's Luke Skywalker's story after Return of the Jedi? We don't see him again to the end of Force Awakens. What happens between that time? Skywalker Solo, a Star Wars movie. All things you can do. Bobby doesn't get it. He thinks it's fatigue, and it's not. It's not fatigue. Maybe you did. The one thing I will say is they put out too many movies with Marvel and this and that, and there was just too much in there, and they put out too fast. They put out 6 months after The Last Jedi. But had Solo come before The Last Jedi, that would have made the movie that would have made billions. Because it would have been like, oh, let's go see this movie. That's what would have happened. But they put it after The Last Jedi, and it was too soon. Too soon of a time frame. Had you put out this December, I think it would have done a lot better. Again, this is my opinion. Doesn't mean it's yours. So anyway, what do you think of this? Do you think the slowdown is a good idea? Do you think this is what Bob Iger should do? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? That's fine. You're entitled. Go in the comment section below. Let me know. Give me a like. Hit that subscribe button, that notification bell. And as always, this is Rob Delavis for all of us who love everything Star Wars. I'll see you again with more Star Wars content, more videos. Check you out next time, man. Be well, everybody. Love you. My daughter wants to give a little message about my channel. Go ahead, tell them about my channel.
Subscribe to Daddy's channel.
Thank you.